After that, they will spread you for a coffee.
Across here is Badi Kelt. We think it's one of the most beautiful sights in all of Israel. And this is what we wake up to every single morning. You're on a Yashuv Kehilati. A Yashuv is not a kibbutz, and it's not a moshav. A kibbutz is a totally cooperative settlement where everybody shares in everything. A moshav is a partially cooperative settlement where some people buy into their homes, but they all share in the agriculture and the produce and whatever. A Yashuv Kehilati is your neighborhood. That's all it is. Everybody here is employed either in Yerushalayim, in their own business. We share nothing. How do we support ourselves? We pay taxes like everybody else. Okay?
Do you own the homes?
We own our own homes.
The land?
No. The land is owned by the World Zionist Organization because 1.5 years ago, a few years before that, the families, the founders of this Yashuv, were down a little bit further down the road in a place called Mishar Adumim, which is now basically an industrial zone. It got to a point where a decision had to be made. A year ago, we won the Speaker of the Knesset's Award for Quality of Life, and our school won for the Americans. You will find, if you were to go to other Yashuvim as well, that you would find many, many American families.
Patrol. So we have to have our own security system here. The people decided not to have a fence around the settlement. There are settlements that have these barbed wire fences around them, and the decision here was not to do that. In fact, it's a sign of weakness, I believe, to build a fence around your community. So the bunkers are situated all around the Yashuv. If God forbid there were to be a war.
This is a bunker.
That's a bunker, yeah.
That's a bunker.
Hey, you want me to take your picture?
Let's have our picture together. Take our picture.
And that's Jordan. About 15 miles from here is Jordan, the Jordan River. And this is the West Bank, and there's nothing here on the West Bank, so what's the big deal? When you give them the West Bank, give them the West Bank. But they won't be satisfied. That's not the point.
Hurry.
Wire turned now into a picnic place. And those of you who've been here during the day remember how many school kids and children from Jerusalem coming here for picnic. This is what we do to an extent. All blocking, the view is blocked by those beautiful houses. Imagine that the border between Israel and Jordan at that time was, you see the high building right there? What's the distance now? About
300 yards.
Let's
Good
say
drive. Good drive, yeah.
400 yards. Okay, that was the 400 yards was the distance between our area and the ammunition here. When the 400 yards was all lines of barbed wires, minefields, and trenches. The hill itself is very small hill. You can see the foot of the hill where the tree is all the way down below, all the way up here. How much is it? Another 100 yards. And they were given the task to liberate Mount Scopus and to conquer the entire north part of Jerusalem, to enable the second paratrooper brigade, the young ones. Huh? No.
Maybe same with him because he's not so close. Okay, I'll give it to you.
Down there, Mike. See if you can get down there. Mike watched a movie of this. They released some of the live video tapes that were taken at that time.
Thank you.
Happened to
Would
do
you
it.
like yours taken?
War material and nearby buildings were stables where horses were used by the Arab Legion when renewing the people of the sand walls. And samples of weapons to give the perspective. Folders of letters, backgrounds of all of the Jewish boys that were killed in this battle. Our ammunition held 200.
paratroopers as well. Fence and protect.
He's been waiting to catch you sleeping.
It was a little nap.
I was just.
But, he didn't know it.
What do you mean? I was there for much
No, I was sitting him up. Smaller. Wouldn't have been able to typical society.
Don't you give that maybe
That's a hell of a joke, Michael. It's a joke. He's telling you a joke.
Back to you.
Very good. But I have to take a little sip and smile. Both you smile. Smile. You like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right.
Very good. Michael, you're not talking. Gathering for the entrance. Not really, but a lot of signs that say King David's tomb around here. We're at the foot of, we're at the entrance, King David's entrance near Mount Zion. Really tight squeeze to get around that corner.
Make a list. I just don't want to take too much time of you. Do me a favor.
You want to pass it around the bus or not?
No.
Just raise your hand right now if anybody really wants to.
Well, one second. Let's not rush. Through the walking, those who want the cassette, just make a list. Give your name to her. Give her the money. How much is it? How much is it?
All the buckets, $1, all the buckets.
Okay, can I have your attention here for 1 minute before we go into the wall? There's a problem sometimes when you look at rocks and stones, because you can go from rock to stone and stone to rock in Israel. You get back to Atlanta, wherever you're from, and people ask you, where were you? You say, well, we saw a lot of rocks and a lot of stones. And the truth is that each one of those rocks and each one of those stones has a story to it. Each one has people that was connected to it. What we're going to try to do in the next 2 hours or so, today we're going to spend our time walking around the Jewish quarter. But just to give you a sense of where we are, right there is one of the churches of the Armenian quarter. You can see it right behind there with the basilica. Over in that direction, and fought, they basically kicked the Jewish forces out of the old city. And so forces tried to come back in, and they came in through Zion Gate, and they made it in. And the crack troops came in, they took the Jewish quarter, and everything was fine, and they left the city. A day later, the Jordanians came back in, they conquered the Jewish quarter, and Zion Gate kind of had the symbol or the not so nice, not really stigma, but
Hebrew to pay attention is lasim lev, or to put your heart. So the heart is a pun upon pay attention. There are children in the street.
Thank you very much.
we stopped here just to try to get a sense, once again, to try to get an idea of how small Jerusalem is and how much is contained under layer upon layer upon layer. Right here we can look and we can see the Mount of Olives right over there, the traditional Jewish cemetery. You can see on the wall, or really on the side, the slope of that mountain going up, leading down into the Kidron Valley. And then the Kidron Valley once again comes up to the Temple Mount. We can't see the Temple Mount from here. It's right on the other side of those buildings over there. And once again, the Jewish quarter was put in as close proximity as possible to the Temple Mount, because to Jews, the Temple Mount was Jerusalem, and everything else was superfluous. And we're now going to walk into that place that was Jerusalem to Jews 2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, and 3,000 years ago. Now let me ask, how many of you have been to the Jewish quarter before? Some people have been asking me questions about the strike and the Arab merchants, Jewish merchants. Do Jews live here? Do Arabs live here? Where was the soldier killed last week? All these kind of questions. Let me suggest, excuse me? Okay.